What's up, guys? Y'all know this Ford has got its fair share of problems, and I've had my fair share of problems with the shops around here.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So I happen to have a buddy who has a buddy that works at a shop who said we're free to, you know, come hang out, throw this thing up on the lift, get it checked out, figure out what the issues actually are, make a plan from there. So that's what this one's going to be about today, you know, hanging out in the shop, being goofballs. So I hope you enjoy this kind of thing, and let me get this thing pulled in here.
Hello.
What was wrong with this thing?
New spark plugs, rear brakes were grinding. 2 weeks ago was the oil change. And then while we were doing the oil change, he went, your rear brakes are dying again. And like, they do that way too
His
often.
like burned through.
Rear brake EXV just stopped working.
I don't know why. The last time I brought him up for rear brakes, I had her follow behind me because they got stuck.
They were smoking. I'm like on the phone with him. That way, if I had to tell him to stop, he could.
Yeah.
Because I was like watching his brakes,
cool.
like as he was going. I was like, I'll tell you if I see orange.
I was like, are they on fire yet? No. All right, we're 2 minutes
Then
away.
we're still
Let's
good.
see if they don't do that.
We told Kevin, we're like, oh, you don't want to let him cool down. House baby.
Ugh, kicking her asses. She's good. She's happy in chonk.
She kung fu fighting or what?
How old is she now?
She'll be 4 months old.
How heavy is she?
22 pounds. She's about 23 pounds.
Holy shoot.
And my turtle got huge out of nowhere. She's like 10 inches now. Freaking insane.
Compare the baby to the turtle.
Just a happy red-eared slider, you know? When we got her, she was in a swimming pool. She was like the size of a quarter.
Huh?
No, that's funny.
Take it.
I think Lenny is Lenny. Oh, you don't?
He was back up camera. We tried.
Smash that bitch. I remember back in high school, we used to, I forget whose car it was. We tried to see if we could jump over this fucking roundabout. We'd have them drive it at us at like 10 miles per hour. We'd like fucking try. I did it.
All right, so what's going on with it? What's the deal?
They're saying all the brakes are bad, all the pads, all the rotors, and this caliper, they said, is broken in one way or another. Well, they said it doesn't meet manufacturer specifications.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, other than that, the power steering
Yeah.
is leaking
Okay.
a little bit,
Okay.
and the transmission is leaking a little bit.
Transmission. Okay.
It sounds like if you replace the entire vehicle.
Yeah. No, that's literally what they said.
Step 1, remove and replace entire vehicle.
They looked at
Step 1.
literally, they looked at it and were trying to price everything out, and he said, my suggestion would be to dump this thing as soon as you can
Yeah.
and get something else.
I'm like, yeah, we can come up with like a priority list and get a couple things to keep this thing going.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like I said, all the pads and rotors
Yeah.
would be probably step 1.
Okay.
And see if that caliper is usable. If not, then we can replace that, I guess.
Okay. You care if I run around the block?
No, do whatever you gotta do.
Cactus's car to be moved.
No.
I drive over it.
Cactus jumps over cars apparently.
Yes.
I feel like a car.
Just not in other cars.
All right, I'll be right back. It'll be like 2 minutes.
All right. Every once in a while, it'll throw some light that says like service advanced track, which is like the traction control and stability management system. But that's all linked through the transmission. So I'm thinking it's a sensor or some kind of electrical problem in the transmission. That all has to be done at a Ford dealership. Right. And I'm like, I refuse to deal with them again. So
Her
'cause I'm
Ford
so
that had the
over it.
transmission problem, when we brought it to our buddy who worked on cars for years, he was like, so I can do like 95% of the work myself and get this thing working, but I have to take it to a Ford dealership so I can get their software so I can program like all the bullshit inside of it afterwards.
Yeah.
So he's like messaging people that like worked at a Ford, hey, is there any
Like, can I just download your program?
can I have
Like,
this program? He was like, yeah, I just took it home. I took the whole transmission out, you know. I went ahead and popped off all of this part. There was a dual clutch for it.
Oh,
I
all the
changed
easy
that out
stuff.
real quick. I took out the sensor. I washed the whole system. I put it back together, and it was fine. And I'm like, those were words, yeah.
You
Hell
sure
yeah, dude.
did, buddy. You sure did. The front struts are bad. I forgot to mention that.
Watch out! Do what?
Coming through.
Watch out! It's Randy.
Yeah, the front struts are bad too.
I was gonna say, you can hear that. Yeah. mine, it's just I hear the.
So is this the best Ford you've ever?
Yeah.
No.
That's one of the things I went back in for, because after they did the wheel bearing is when it started making that sound. So I was like,
really?
what? But it was only brake related.
And it's only when you're braking.
Yeah, so I was like, what the hell? So I took it back, and they were like, oh, yeah, all your brakes are bad. I'm like, well, why didn't you say that when you had it the first time? I've also never replaced the spark plugs.
Okay.
And it has 200,000 miles on it. You have to take off the entire intake to get to the ones in the back.
Yeah, it's a mess.
So I was just like, I'm gonna just not worry about that.
When I messaged
It
him,
still runs. So.
I was like, yeah, they told him this Ford Edge pretty much needed to be gutted entirely. And he went, yeah, those things usually aren't great.
Yeah. They said the battery's bad too, but...
Was there anything they said was good?
No.
Okay,
No,
cool.
they did not.
That.
I replaced the clips, but it still won't hold.
It is testing bad, but it's not terrible. It's 360 cranking amps out of 540, so it's.
It starts fine.
Yeah, it
so.
starts okay.
I think there is a very tiny head gasket issue.
Really?
Because when I do change the oil,
Okay.
it comes out looking like coffee.
Uh-oh.
It's still thin and I can see through it, but it's got that reddish, orangish hue to it, and it's kind of like real bubbly. Not quite that bad, but there's a little bit of bubblage in there, and with the color of this coolant
Yeah.
and the
You
way
can
it
tell just by smelling
the
it.
way it smells like
Test on it,
exhaust.
but
So.
I see your transmission leak. It's just a cooler line. You can just spray that off and just keep an eye on the transmission fluid. But that's long term. You know, you're not even messing with it that long, from what I understand.
I didn't even want this thing from the beginning,
Yeah.
and I've ended up with it for 8 years. So
Oh gosh. Time to move on.
you love my beautiful bodywork.
Beautiful.
It's mint.
Man.
Struts are blown for sure. Still drives fine. I was thinking it was like a tie rod or a ball joint bad, and he was like, no, tire slipped a belt. I was like,
Yeah.
that's a thing? I ain't never had this. Well, I guess it has been on a lift. I've never seen it on a lift. Crush it against the ceiling.
Hello? Hello?
I did want a chance while it's up here to look at the exhaust.
Yeah.
It looks fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I wouldn't mess with it. This is top notch right here. This is 10 out of 10.
That was me. It was leaking, so I was like, I'll just wrap a bunch of aluminum around
Dude,
it.
I respect the hustle.
And
it's not leaking that bad.
the leak has stopped
The leak has stopped.
until that starts leaking.
Brand new axles. Okay, I see you.
Yeah, that they just did,
Yeah.
because that was bad. The axle was broken.
Was it? Yeah, you definitely need front brakes.
Anything after like 2003, I don't like touching anyway. So
It's your inner tie rod. It's such minimal play, such a small amount. You can put your hand here if you want to feel it. Feel that? It is so minimal.
tiny a little bit.
Yeah, your strut is blown. Yeah, they're covered. It blew its load. So this side's dry, so you know,
Okay.
that's one of those, you know. You want to do them in pairs though, to be fair. That's one thing you do want to do. You look up through here. That's your oil leak. It's just your valve cover on the back side.
Oh yeah.
Intake has to come off. So that's another big mess. It just runs off the valve cover, so it's not terrible. Just keep an eye on your oil level, and we'll top it before we get you out of here.
Yeah.
And that power steering line's leaking pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Golly.
So it could be contributing to that. You got to pick and choose at this point what you really think is
That lip back on it.
necessary, you know? Because I feel like even if you do all this work, they'll still give you.
Yeah,
some
it's gonna be the
support, you know?
yeah. I'm gonna put $5,000 into it for it to be worth $4,000.
No,
so
yeah. Take that back. I do see your pads in the rear. You see that?
yeah,
It's pretty darn
he was like,
close.
they're under 3 millimeters. I'm like,
Yeah.
3 millimeters is a lot, right?
I always tell my wife 3 millimeters is a lot.
You can see the wear pattern on your rotor too. That's pretty nasty. I would at least do pads if you're gonna do anything, you know, to start. But
I'm probably gonna end up trading it in somewhere, and they'll look it over when they get it.
they do
so.
that anyway.
Trade it in.
They'll probably give you way less.
They'll
too.
probably
I'll
give you
just-
$3 and the
They
handshake.
usually give you like $500 and
Yeah.
turn around and sell it for 10
Yeah,
grand.
they do say they can't go over 500 for a lot of cars.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh,
When we went to the Ford, that's
I would
what
sell
they
it
stated.
privately for real.
Yeah. You'll definitely get more off
That
way.
sucks. Because I was like trying to just have quick turnaround, not be without a car
Yeah.
at all. Basically, just like pull in with this, pull out with something new.
Do you have interest in fixing this leak, or do you just want to clean it off?
Depending on how easy it would be and how much it would run me.
It looks like it's a.
'Cause it doesn't
pain in
seem
the
too
ass.
bad, but yeah, that's the issue with it. Even something simple is a pain in the ass to get to and to
Yeah.
do. Gracie. So as we expected, the shop I took it to was trying to upsell me on most things. There are some issues, but nothing that I can't live with. Redo the brakes, clean up a little bit, it should be alright. Wish I had a space like this. This is the dream. Have a legit shop, have some lifts. One of these days we'll be here, guys.
Damn. It's not broken, they beat it. Damn. Oh shit.
When they did the bearing, they were like, oh yeah, these ABS sensors in here, they're made of plastic, so they just break when you take them out. So they broke that and then charged me for another one.
Yeah, and they're like $140.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So,
Yeah.
they beat the shit out of it, dude.
Idiots.
So that's what broke it.
They broke it, yeah.
Yeah, it's not, oh, it's plastic, and in the cold, you know, they get brittle. Yeah, when you
Meatheads.
beat them with a hammer, they get pretty brittle too.
The grinder. We broke that down too. The grinder.
They're like, we'll make it good enough to get
That's what that was. Now it's just stupid as fuck. The shit you see, man, it's hilarious, honestly. No, I guess they gotta make their money, but it's like absurd the shit they charge.
Yeah, they ridiculous.
Crazy.
I'll look at something, it's like not only did they charge double what I could have gotten the part for,
Yes.
but then the labor they charge is insane. Like,
Well,
I get it, it's a specialized line of work.
Blah, blah, blah.
You gotta go through all your training and all that to know what you're doing, and they do, for the most part, know what they're doing. But
Yes.
to charge, you know, $800 labor on a 1 hour job
Which is insane.
with a $100 part, like,
Yeah.
I'd rather try it myself and break something at that point.
Hey guys, Chris Fix here.
The only reason I don't mess with this in newer cars is all the electronic shit, all the sensors.
Yeah. Check engine light come on at all?
Every once in a while it does, but it doesn't stay on long.
That's usually
It's
that.
real intermittent. It's like once every couple months.
Yeah, that sounds like emissions, like EVAP.
They did say that was an issue because if I run it like to empty and then fill it all the way up, it struggles to start. It will like sit there and sputter and crank for like a minute before it'll actually start. And they
Yeah.
said that's what that was.
Yeah.
I'll stick to my 93 Corolla.
Yep. My 97 Nissan.
I'm literally about to start tearing the engine apart on it.
Do it. Make it a race
Rebuilding
one.
it. It's like Legos.
Yes. Case swap.
I was thinking about it, but I'm gonna keep it Toyota. I'm gonna just fix the engine I have now, and then maybe in the future
Yeah.
do a ZZ.
Yeah.
Hit the lottery or something. Like 3S GTE swap.
US GTE, CA18.
Those are getting expensive. I want ideally just get an MR2, but
Tell you what, you can get Honda J35s pretty cheap though.
I like the Del Sols.
Yeah.
I want an EG patch.
Yeah, so Del Sols are beautiful. Yep. Jokes out there going, these are all just letters. What's that mean?
That's another thing I need is a good compressor. Having good shop air is a game changer. You know what? That's probably, they probably dripped brake fluid on this shit when they, because I'm like, that looks literally like a drip.
Yeah, or like they had like a brake hose, like a bleeder hose.
Yeah, because that's been there for a while. I assumed I did it, but
There's your turpitat. The turpitat. You should know what a turpitat is. The turpitat does the turpitations. Interpretation, turpitat. Tobacco. Tuberculosis. Okay, so you want to start with brakes and go from there? What do you think?
yeah, I guess that's probably what we should do.
Okay. You want to do rear pads and rotors and front pads? Do you want to do all four? It's really your call.
All rotors, all pads, I
Yeah.
think would be just a good place to start. Do you have a brand that you recommend? I usually just go with like 1A Auto, the cheap shit.
1A Auto's fine. Yeah.
TRQ shit.
Yeah, TRQ's good stuff. Honestly, like O'Reilly's in AutoZone, their stuff's gotten a lot better. We get our stuff from KOI. If you want me to get it here, you know, might be cheaper through my work.
That's what I'm saying. You guys probably get a discount or something. So
Yeah.
if you're willing to just go ahead and order everything, we can just go with that.
Okay. We can do that.
You're helping me out, so whenever you're free
That's fine.
and feel like it, I won't argue with it.
Sounds good to me, Papa. I'm gonna scan for codes real quick and then we'll get you out of here.
That's another thing. I was gonna buy an OBD2 reader.
Yeah.
I watched that Project Farm YouTube channel.
Okay.
He reviewed some, and there's one for like $40 that he says is actually like really good.
Really?
I was thinking about getting it. If you have one you recommend getting?
Yeah,
or-
Auto and Top Don.
Okay, I think it's the Autel.
Autel, yeah.
The
Autel
one
and
he
Top
even
Gun.
said to do it. So
Yeah, those are the two I highly recommend. The thing that sickens me though is what I just did to Cactus's car. That probably would have been close to $600 at a shop. You know?
Yeah.
That's sickening.
Is that how much?
that's what I'm
No,
saying.
absolutely not.
Years ago, when we first came back from Texas, I had the money and didn't have the time. I got 4 rotors, all pads, and new headlights, and it was $1,200.
Jesus, that is sickening.
And they broke one of the headlights putting it in. Didn't even put the bulb in all the way. It was literally just laying in the housing.
God.
It wasn't seated. That's when I decided I'm never taking anything back to there. That was at Walt Sweeney Ford.
Oh my God, they're awful there. These are all just pointless codes. This one, I don't know. Sometimes you can just relearn the steering wheel angle sensor. What I'm thinking though, it's indicating your tie rods. Like, you remember how? we
Yeah,
just got the
true.
play?
That little tiny bit could throw it
that
off.
sensor can notice a difference from the rack to the steering wheel. So that's probably really
makes
what it's coming down to. So, but it's not a drivability issue. All your stuff's good though. No misfires, none of that. It's great, really.
I'm so shocked that the
Yeah.
plugs and the coil packs have held up this long.
These 3.5s are reliable because they're not turboed.
Yeah.
They are actually really stout.
200,000 miles and they still work.
Yeah.
Everything else around it's falling apart though.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Nothing came
knows?
back. So when we come and get that stuff done, I'll rescan it and we'll go from there. It threw me off because the outside pads weren't as worn as the insides. Usually that's just rust on the calipers. When it gets rusted, it'll stick, so it'll stay, and it doesn't. When it
Yeah,
retracts,
and
it
then
doesn't
the
pull back.
piston's pushing, but
Yeah.
the caliper's not
It
moving.
doesn't.
We crab core now.
I can't do that. I tried to. My knee went no.
Yeah, we haven't done knee testings yet. I feel like I just need to go to Kevin to practice them because he'll have all positives.
Yeah, you'll know what to look for.
He has a blown out knee.
It blasted. It's gone.
That's what I said. I just need to call Kevin to do all the tests. Be like,
I am
do,
test dummy.
do it to Cactus. Be like, all right, that's a negative.
This is what a good one looks
No.
like.
That's why
This is what a bad
That's
one.
why I have my hand like this. That's why I have my hand like this.
Wait, this is
Oh
the
my
motion.
Look at that little 10 millimeter.
Yeah, it's a socket, buddy. You're guaranteed to lose it. I 3D printed that.
Great job.
You want to go with me? He's like,
If you ever want a reason not to buy a Ford,
I don't need any more of those.
I'll give you all the reasons not to buy a Ford. So this guy, he turned on his car, and the sunroof opened and it never closed, and it will not close.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. There's
That
2
was fun.
sunroof motors up there in the front track. We tracked it down to this one going bad, but we had to take it off, take the gear off, and spin the track because it's a worm gear. So you had to spin the track with the gear to get it to close. And we still can't get it to where, you know, like how sunroofs just close and then they latch up. We can't get it to latch up. All we got is close. So
Hey, at least they got good tires too. That's all you need apparently to fix a Ford. Just slap some new tires on it.
okay, that is it. Let me clean.
yes.
We make good time. That happens when you got
Well, you guys.
So, as expected, the shop was not necessarily trying to rip me off, but trying to milk this thing for every cent that they could. A lot of things that are unnecessary, they were saying were required. So, I'm going to come back here next week and just do all the brakes, and that should fix 90% of my issues. There are still a couple little things, as you guys saw, that should be okay for a while. I can take care of that stuff down the road if I absolutely need to. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Those are my old high school buddies. We just hanging out, goofing off. Little shop talk, you know how it is. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.